Hi guys, I'm Shmi and today we are going on a mini adventure. We're going to be taking both of these cars over to the Mini factory in Cowley near Oxford. So I'll be driving in my car, the Shmini as we know it, one of the last of the classic Minis, joined by my manager Mark in his Mini GP2, or Project GP 2.5 as it's been known. Straight out of Dub Customs with the new wrap, inspired by the JCW concept car. It is quite cool seeing the two together, but we've gone over with Mark all the details of this car, told you all about it. It's quite heavily modified, shall we say, whereas mine is kind of stock look of the last of the Cooper Sports in the racing green with the silver stripes. So obviously they don't live like that, we just parked them like that for a few photos across the spaces given that they were empty. But the guys are here as well. I'm going with Patrick and with Mark, who would probably prefer to be going in the GT8, but we're going to be jumping on board both of the Minis today, heading over to Oxford. We've got about an hour and a bit on the road. I don't have much of a fuel gauge, so I guess we're going to have to stop to fill up straight away before we get too far. But we'll jump in, hit the roads, and head over to Mini. So Patrick's jumping in with me. Patrick is also an old Mini owner.
I do. I have a Mini 30, a 30-year anniversary one from 1989.
Which has just been restored.
Yeah. It's a little slower than this one though, not as fast. It's only got a 998. I'm not sure the exact number, but I think it's below 50.
Okay, this is 62 horsepower. It's whopping. Yesterday I had it on the motorway very comfortably at 70 miles an hour.
Okay, this should be exciting then.
Yes,
very exciting.
We are quite small when you compare to...
Yeah, really small.
A new one. Mark's ready, we're ready. So I should pass you the camera.
Yep.
And we should head on out. Look at him all smug in his GP 2.5 with the Mad for Mini plate. Let's get some feedback on his number plate. Do we like Mad for Mini, or do we think it's atrocious? I need to hear some audience responses on that one. Personally, not so sure. Sorry Mark, doesn't work for me. It's not very British, but the car does look pretty good on the road actually. It stands out an awful lot, that's for sure. We are basically taking this at a nice... Okay, what's going on there? That was my front plate again, I can see it on the road. It's not. It's on the hard shoulder. So there goes my front number plate. Again, oh dear, whoops. So yeah, that's happened. The plate's flown off. We're going to loop back round and see if we can find it.
Is it there in the middle of the road? In the middle of the hard shoulder?
Could be. Is that a number plate?
It is.
That looks like a number plate. Hello, my precious.
There it is.
Officer, it fell off. Genuinely. True story, we've rescued it, onwards.
Unbelievable, I can't believe we got it back.
No, me neither, let's stick that there. I apologise in advance for this.
Yeah, so the police know it's there.
On we go. Wait for the right moment to fall back on. Oh, the hard shoulders are pretty dangerous places to be. Clear motorway, off we go. Use those revs, come on Mini! And we're away, onwards. We've arrived at the Mini factory then. We're going to work out where to go, but there are a lot of Minis in that car park. We are going to head in, find the sort of visitor arrivals point, which I suppose is in here. Mini Plant Oxford. Let's head inside. Ah yes, I can see Mark's Mini. So when we went back for the number plate, he stayed here, or rather carried on to get here ahead of us. But let us drive in through this way. Ooh, bump, bump, bump. And we will pull up alongside his in a second. Welcome. We're actually heading inside. We're going to be able to park the cars up inside and take some photos. So just got to take them in. This will be fun. We've parked up, but before we head around the plant, we're going to take a quick little look at the museum where Mark has already gone on ahead because basically he's in heaven in here.
Yes, I am.
Having a look at everything. Now, I just had a quick whiz around. The first thing I'm going to stop by is this sort of statistics board beside us where we can see nearly 5.5 million old Minis and 4 million new Minis built here. And 1,000 a day, which is crazy.
It's amazing how much they're currently building and what they've done over the years.
Well, it started with this,
yes,
the bullnose, 1913. There's kind of a history on the wall right here from William Morris.
It's not really like the classic Mini, this.
No, a bit different.
Yeah, a bit different.
But we quickly get to the famous classic. Minis.
Yeah. Morris Minor, of course. And then we get to the
Morris
original,
Mini Minor.
which yours is based on.
Yes, but it's amazing that that's... So what year is this car that we're looking at?
60s.
1967. And then mine is a 2001, but it's effectively the same
Same type of car.
same type of car. That grabs my attention, the Monte Carlo Rally.
Yeah, now everybody knows why there is 37 on my car.
Yes, that's the reason for the number 37 on your GP2. Car number 37 at the Monte Carlo Rally.
Yeah. Yeah, this is the winning car in the 60s.
That's pretty cool. And then up your street, a GP.
Yeah, a GP and a second generation. It's not completely GP, it was mostly a race car. I don't know exactly where they raced it, but yeah, it looks similar to my car. It's interesting to see. Also, your race car is on the wall there.
Oh yes, literally that's the Mini Challenge car that I'm racing this season.
You can see all the racing cars there and all the racing they've done, you know, in Countryman's and WRC and now Dakar. So,
All fun and games. And then this Pet
Interesting.
Mini. Okay.
Yeah. Is it really? Yeah, it is. you have to do like this in the morning, like
Stroke it.
stroke it to make sure it's right. How do you clean it?
I wouldn't worry about that.
Deep Klopman.
Fully stripped out. And this,
Klopman
if
is
you
Countryman.
thought-
It's Countryman. It's Countryman.
if you thought that was impressive, wait until you see what's around the corner. Yeah, so they were just saying from 2,000 factory employees, now over 100 machines being used to build the cars. One born every minute and 7 seconds.
Amazing. Yeah.
That's a lot of cars. Through to the JCW
Third generation.
and an engine.
Yeah, a 2-liter engine.
Mini 1D.
Yeah.
All right.
It's a 1D engine.
Clubman, Countryman. Okay, let's head on from here and go explore the factory.
Yes.
This is what we're coming to see first, body in white, so named because the cars were originally white steel, but that's an example of what's going on here. First observation, this place is huge. There are so many robots running just about everything in a massive, massive factory. You can imagine what this would have looked like with sort of hand-built cars being done all around, whereas now it's the robots building everything, putting everything together, riveting all the steel, and putting together the different panels for the various parts of the cars, and well, storing other parts, bringing it all together. There's even stuff going on at different levels up above us. This is fairly massive. I'm wearing some very factory appropriate gear, the glasses, high-vis jackets and boots of course, but one thing we were just observing is that basically every single part of a new Mini is more complicated than the entirety of my whole car. But also look, the parts are moving all around the place. The chassis go up into the roof, come back down. The logistics in planning and building a location like this, just to make it all seamlessly fit together, is fairly, there we go, up it goes, to be transported into another part of the factory. It's really quite hard to take all of this in and get a full picture of everything that's going on, because it's a completely different scale to the kind of more bespoke boutique supercar companies I normally film. Look at that! It's just casually throwing a chassis around up in the air. Okay, this is fairly ridiculous to see because I'm more used to sort of hand-built stages where cars move from one to the other. Whereas in here, you've just got whole cars just being thrown around by the robots. This is cool to see, but there is so much to take in and try and understand at once. Off goes that one. Down comes the next. And then it gets spot welded here. Standing up here, this is kind of like some kind of robotic Jurassic Park, the way you just see them all moving and doing things, and it's all calculated so that they don't oversupply into the next section. So basically, different parts start and stop, and this has just started, so the robots here are now doing all of their thing. I think there are 10 in total, above, below, all around, so that it can be done as efficiently as possible, and then all the cars coming through. But it is, like, wherever you look, there's something happening or some different part moving on. You can see there's some welding, sparks going on over in the background. Not even quite sure what's happening everywhere here. Cars just moving along. see what happens. Off they go. The next stop on our tour is the paint shop. So the bodies that we saw at the very beginning, the body in white, then come here to be painted before they go back to the assembly plant where we've been taking a look around. So quite literally, you can see the cars here being prepared. Now what this is doing is sealing the inside. So sealant going on the cars to make sure there are no access areas for water or anything that's going to cause problems later on. This was a job that was previously done by hand. Now you have these robots going around literally set for each different car through the windows, opening bonnets and doors and things wherever they need to. And then you've got two lines, the near one and one at the back as well. Literally 1,000 cars per day are coming through here. And it's the logistics challenge of this that's perhaps mesmerizing me the most. To think about where all of these go. As soon as they get to the end and they're all built, they basically have to be taken away. Otherwise there's nowhere to put them all because it would just build up amazingly quickly. So 1,000 bodies come through here. They get primered, sealed, and then eventually we'll continue down the line where the paint is going to be applied. The exterior sealants as well, so protecting water from entering the car anywhere in the arches, for example, and on the under tray. It's just mesmerizing watching these robots in action. Now this is top coat 2, so this is where the car actually gets painted. We've just had a batch of grey cars going in front of us, so I haven't been able to show you much, but we now have a blue one being painted, so you can see the various layers that get applied. So the first layer down here using electrostatically charged paint, and then further on different solvent paints for other parts as well. Now an interesting thing is if you have a car with a dual tone roof, which obviously a lot of Minis do, it's actually painted twice. So the whole car is painted here, then the roof, when it gets to the end, if the barcode reads that it's having a different colour, it gets separated out, goes back through a different channel, and where the roof is painted over the top. So we can see the first sort of layer of paint. It's fun how you can see the steps from before where the shuts were painted and that kind of thing. Roof being done over the top of the large sunroof at the top. That will turn out to be a rather nice bright blue metallic. Then it makes it to the paint validation line. So all of the different cars coming through here, having their paintwork done under the most insane lighting you could imagine. Then the cars come out along the line, some final checks if needed. And you've got things like the fuel cap here. You can see it's painted, basically held on there, so it's exactly the same. Then that mount can be taken off and reused. But that means that obviously you don't get any variation in the colour when it's on there. But a car like this one has all of that sealant that was then applied to the exterior areas that you can see around there. And there's also sound deadening on the inside too, you can see on the floor. But these are all real customer cars with 1,000 odd coming through per day. If you ever wondered what it looked like when you have this much paint for 1,000 cars a day, there are 3 rooms exactly like this, just loaded up with paint where it arrives, then it gets conditioned, then it moves into the next room through there where it's all being prepared for day painting. But you've got these huge, huge canisters with all the different colours ready to go up through the sort of piping in the roof that I'll show you in a second, up to the top bays. And then we're in here, and you can see all of that above for all the different colours to be routed upstairs. Next stop, we have come to the assembly plant. So this is where everything is put together. And the line has just started up after a break. We can see here the automatic guided vehicles that bring the dashboards and stick them into place, ready to go into the cars online, obviously arriving bang on time. They were saying that the takt time is 67 seconds. So every 67, 68 seconds, a car is built while the line is up. 22 hours a day, the factory is running. So it's literally only off for 2 hours for break times and for equipment sort of updates and things if they're needed. But you've got all the different cars coming along. Basically, it seems like they're non-stop, just making progress up through the factory. You spot the different kind of cars, the 5 doors, the 3 doors, the Clubmans, and occasionally JCWs. I think that one's a JCW over there, the red and black. They'll move through, loving the dark green in here. But basically, this is a very swift moving process, the way car assemblies come through, get done, get built, put together through the various stages. Here we have the famous engine marriage moment. So the engine has arrived at the factory, it's been assembled onto the front suspension. You can see coming through here, the body, well, the engine will be raised up into the underside of the car. every 60 seconds or so, one goes in. So the engine marriage moment, done. We're between two lines here, so the cars go all the way down, then they go up, along back through the roof where a couple of other things are done, steering wheel and things, and come back down here where the wheels are installed, and becoming close to a completed car. It's just about ready for touchdown. Car will be tyres on the ground for the first time, and then settle, and from now on it's rolling or sliding at ground level. So right at the end of the line, I'm going to have the honour of sticking a badge on a car just before it gets off. Let's come through and hopefully not get this wrong. It should be quite simple. Put in place, press down. So, he says, wanting to be super delicate with it. On we go, and press. Badged a Mini. And then all that's left is the car to be started up right here at the end of the line and driven off under its own steam through the finish post and complete. And last but by no means least, a little bit of fun when Mini had a family day. The car with somewhere between 14,000 and 17,000 signatures all over it. That's enough for in here. We are now going to head outside. That has been the Mini Plant Oxford, taking a look around where they're built, and we're wrapping up with some nice photos out here on the grass of our two together, Mark's GP2, Project GP2.5, and the Shmini that I've temporarily reaffixed the number plate on just to stick on for the minute for some photos. But obviously I'll have to sort that out properly later on today. But it's been a pretty fun look around the whole plant, which we're basically in the middle of right here. A huge place, but cool to see because I show you quite a lot of the sort of supercars and I guess the more boutique companies. So we've seen how these smaller factories work, but not so much about how the big places work and how really everything has to be absolutely on time and follow production so that they don't end up having to shut down the whole factory to get things done. So this is where Minis are built in Oxford, the home where that car was built back in the day, and that one too, and maybe some of yours too. So let me know in the comments down below if you have a Mini, what are you driving? If not, hopefully maybe one day you will do. Anyway, that's it for now. It's a bit windy out here. We'll jump back in the cars, head back into London, and I will wrap it up there. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll catch up with you again very soon. Cheers.